In Glendale, Arizona, dispatch got a call early morning that they struggled to comprehend. A man had phoned them up, claiming he had killed his family while singing Eminem. The police were sent out to the house, only to discover the bloody massacre that took place. And with the man trying to say the devil made him do it, it posed the question: was Michael Miller a man possessed, or was he a cold-blooded, premeditated murderer? Now, before we go into the story, I'm Orikat, and welcome to our channel. I deliver cases to you in the dramatisation format, so if that's something you enjoy, you'll be happy to know we upload once a week. As always, my aim is to give a voice to the victims and remember them as they were. So with that, let us begin. Michael Brian Miller was a man who lived in Glendale, Arizona, with his wife Adriana and his two kids, Valeria and Brian. Glendale is a city in the suburbs of Phoenix, which is known for its plethora of historical sites, a thriving sports scene, and a vibrant entertainment district. It was a popular blend of suburban and urban life, home to the football team, the Arizona Cardinals. So Michael Brian Miller, 29 years old at the time of this case, had previously worked as a shipping clerk, helping to pack medicine. But after that job fell through in the winter of 2008, Michael had to look for work elsewhere. So one day when he was walking down the street, he went past the Papa John's. In the window of this Papa John's were applications to apply for a job. And Michael, knowing he needed a new source of income to support his family, went in, filled out a form, and became a newly hired pizza delivery driver. He allegedly enjoyed the job a lot more than when he was working as a shipping clerk, because it wasn't as boring and he didn't have to stand up for as long. 4 months later, at this point, Michael had been married to his wife Adriana for 11 years. And though there had been some good points in their marriage, it was a relationship riddled with problems. Throughout it, Michael struggled a lot with alcohol abuse and mental health issues. At one point, he was going through around 10 drinks a day, alongside smoking weed. So during the month of May, it hit Michael that his delivery job may not be making enough money to get by on. The economy was struggling at this time, and the wage was just too low. And the stress of this soon accumulated into an inconsistent sleep schedule, as well as increased anxiety, which he claimed was making all his mental health issues worse. You see, it was put forward that not only did Michael Miller suffer from schizophrenia, but he also suffered from bipolar. Flash forward to the 30th of May, it was a day that saw Michael getting home from work late at about 10 p.m. He came in just in time to tuck his children into bed, and then sat by his son Brian's bedside and prayed to God. He then retired to bed with his wife, but found that he was finding it really hard to get to sleep, even on his sleeping prescription. So after hours of restlessness, Michael just decided to get up and perhaps maybe look at his computer for a little bit. This was just before 3 a.m, in which he said he was looking to download a song called Renegade by Eminem and Jay-Z. At 4 a.m, his wife Adriana came downstairs, and apparently a massive argument ensued, pretty much over Michael's disturbed sleep schedule. All this arguing and screaming eventually came to a pinnacle that resulted in that fateful 911 call in the early morning hours. Dispatch received a call just after 4 a.m, and when they answered it, on the line was Michael Miller. And he sounded very distressed and jittery, his words over the receiver painting a tale of horrors that happened just before he placed the call. Miller told the dispatch he had just killed all his family, all to the tune of an Eminem song. He said how he slaughtered them with a knife, his wife first, and then his 2 children afterwards. And so the dispatch immediately sent police to the address, but still stayed on the line with Michael. They asked Michael if he had ever had any violent thoughts to this extent before, and Michael just replied, "Never, never, ever, ever." Apparently, the whole situation had just hit him like a brick in the face. The dispatcher tried to probe for more information, such as asking, why did you do it? Or what was the motivation for committing such a horrible crime? And the only reason Miller could come up with was a really bizarre one. He said that he was possessed. After the call with the dispatch ended, the police broke into the Miller's residence, and inside they were met with a horribly gruesome sight. 2 lifeless bodies, with blood all over the walls and all over the floors, and then a young boy that they had to get out of there straight away and get into emergency care. The family had been brutally murdered, and then there was Michael, standing around with barely any clothes on when he was apprehended by the police. During his interviews in custody, the police offered Michael a blanket and pressed for more light to be shed on why he had committed such a heinous crime. And as Michael Miller told it, he just said that he had never felt that kind of rage before. He described it as being in love with his wife 1 minute and then wanting to rip her guts out the next. During the dispute with his wife, Miller saw her as a literal demon and attacked her. His children woke up during the altercation and his daughter came down first. Valeria told him to stop, but Miller attacked her too in retaliation. And then lastly, to face his brutal wrath, was his 4-year-old son Brian. According to Miller, Brian was his favourite, therefore that was the reason he had prayed with him before this whole nightmare begun. Horrifically, young Brian was stabbed 11 times. Miller quoted that the reason he was so much more brutal on his son was because he loved him the most. After the interrogation and the full search of the house, Michael was arrested on murder charges. He was remanded in custody. At his court trial, they originally backed up that he did indeed suffer from schizophrenia and bipolar too. In court, Miller wouldn't stray from the opinion that Satan had been the one guiding his hand, and that Satan assured him that his children would be kept sleeping soundly, whilst he dealt with his wife, and that the children wouldn't be harmed. But one of the most interesting things during the entire court trial was the way in which the police questioned the validity of Michael's mental illnesses. You see, during a search of his property, they found notes in his dresser, which covered the topics of schizophrenia and bipolar. From the specific notes and what was highlighted, the police soon concluded that Miller had been researching how to either mimic symptoms of mental illness or exaggerate them. So the authenticity of his mental sanity was naturally brought into question. This was backed up by his inconsistent behaviour and answers during questioning, as well as the fact that not only was he sleep deprived, but he had also suddenly increased his dosage in his medication. All in all, the police eventually concluded that the attempts to spin a tale of demonic possession, or being controlled by Satan, or even his severe mental health issues, it was all just a way for Miller to try and avoid responsibility for his violent acts. During the entirety of the proceedings, Miller constantly insisted that he had no control over his actions at the time of the crime. He also cited that he was depressed and that back in the autumn of 2007, he had actually attempted to kill himself and failed. The validity of this claim couldn't be backed up. The main aspect of this case which attracted the most media attention was of course the fact that Miller said that whilst he was murdering his family, he was singing an Eminem song. He said he was singing the song Kim by Eminem. But nowhere in the lyrics does it resemble what Michael was said to have shouted at his wife before he killed her. He said that night, "Here comes Satan, I'm the Antichrist, I'm going to kill you." In 2010, Miller was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. It is worth noting that this case did once again bring up a frequent conversation topic within the true crime genre. The discussion on whether certain music, such as rap or rock, can influence certain types of violent crime. For example, at the time of the case, some suggested that the songs in particular, 3am by Eminem and Kim by Eminem, both demonstrated really heavy undertones of violence. But for me personally, I believe that blaming the acts of violent individuals on artistic expression is just a way to allow the perpetrator to have less accountability. There are millions of people all over the world that listen to darker genres, and barely any of them have the urge to go out and commit an awful, horrific crime. In the twist of good fortune, Brian Miller, Michael's 4-year-old son, came through the other side. Thankfully, he made a full recovery due to the outstanding medical treatment he received. Not much is known about Brian now because naturally he was a minor at the time, so his identity has to be protected. But it's crazy to think he would be 19 now. My thoughts and prayers go out to Adriana's family, and I really hope that her and Valeria are at peace now. All in all, the real question that was posed from this case was, did Michael Miller act under the influence of madness, or had this been a sinister desire he had been sitting on for a while? Some would say that praying with his son and then saying the devil guided his actions later that night doesn't match up, particularly because he wasn't very devout to his beliefs. In reality, he'd only been practicing Christianity for a few weeks, which leads me to believe that this did err on the side of premeditation. I think he was motivated by unexplainable hatred, caused by the inferiority he was feeling due to not being able to provide for his family. He was an individual that would go to any lengths possible to try and wash his hands of his crime. This is particularly shown through his police interviews, where he tries to justify to the police that his family were in a better place.
(911), what is your emergency?
I just killed my family with a knife. All of them, all three of them.
What's your name?
Michael Miller. This isn't a joke.
I'm sorry?
This isn't a joke.
Okay.
Please come out here right away because I am terrified.
Okay, are you sure they're not breathing?
My son was.
Where's your wife at?
They're all here in the kitchen. Please come out here right away.
Okay, you need to stay on the phone with me, okay?
I'm on the phone with you.
Just stay on the phone with me. Your name is what again? Mike?
Michael Miller.
Michael? Okay. Why, have you been having some problems?
I don't know if it did something, but I'm not myself. I'm possessed.
Where's your wife at in the kitchen? Is she on the floor? Is she in the chair?
She's on the floor.
Okay, what's her name?
Adriana Miller.
Have you been drinking tonight?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You don't have any other weapons on you?
No.
Okay, what color shirt do you have on?
I'm in my underwear.
Okay, I've got officers on the way. You just need to stay on the phone with me till they get there, okay? Is there anybody else in the house?
No.
Do you have a shirt on or just your underwear?
I'm just in regular underwear.
Are there any other weapons inside the house?
No.
Are you sure that you did this and you're not dreaming?
No, I'm positive. I'm positive. They are over there. They are dead. I'm not dreaming. Get someone over here.
Okay, they're on the way, Mike. You need to stay on the phone with me, okay?
Okay.
I've got them on the way. Why would your family be up this early in the morning in the kitchen?
Well, I work nights. And they woke up. I was threatening my wife with the knife, and my kids came out. And I killed my wife, and I killed both my kids.
Okay, are you sure you're not dreaming, Michael?
I am positive. I swear to God, this is real.
Do you have any blood on your hands?
Yes, all over me. It's all over me.
Okay, Michael, like I said, I'm staying on the phone with you till we get there, okay? You just need to stay on the phone with me. Can you go to another room?
I'm outside. I'm waiting for them to come.
No, I don't want you to be outside.
Okay, I'm outside. God, Jesus, what happened?
Where do you work at?
John's Pizza.
And you just got off work?
No, I got off yesterday at 9. I came home, but I couldn't sleep. I haven't been sleeping.
Okay.
I had really a hard time sleeping.
Okay, so you haven't been to sleep tonight, and
No,
why is your family up at this time of the morning?
Because I scared the shit out of them. I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Uh-huh.
And I killed them.
Do you have any other family members here in the Glendale area?
Not in Glendale, well, her family.
Her family lives here?
Yes.
Have you ever had any type of thoughts of doing this before?
Never, ever. It just hit me like a brick in the face. I don't even know why I did it. I don't even have a valid reason.
Michael, I'm hoping that you're just dreaming this.
I pray to God this is a dream.
Okay. All right.
I hope to God this is a dream. I hope I am just fucking freaking out.
Okay.
I hope to God it is, but it's not. It's real. God, please.
Okay, it's your son and who else?
My daughter.
Can you go over and...
No, I can't. I cannot.
Why not?
I can't look at what I did.
Okay, well, you need to. You need to face up to the reality of this. You need to go and help him.
Okay, what can I do?
Okay, I need... Michael.
What can I do?
Michael, listen to me. What I need you to do right now is I need you to go to the front door, and I need you to step outside with your hands up in the air and stay on the phone with me.
Okay.
Are you going outside?
Yeah.
You're out the front door?
Yes.
Okay, you need to put the phone down and put your hands up in the air.
What?
Put your hands up in the air after you put the phone down. Put the phone on the ground and put your hands in the air.
Thank you for watching today's video. Do you think there are actual cases caused by demonic possession? Comment yes or no down below.